I love you. I feel like you're like my soul sister. Like I
Stop. You
honestly,
don't make me shy.
honestly, I feel like there is like we are compatible on like a lot of things. Do you
Two
get?
twinsies.
Do you
Yeah,
get?
two twinsies.
Do you get? Like I'm looking
Yes,
for
I'm
somebody
sorry.
to do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 video, and I just know that if you yeah,
Let's do it. Let's
if
do
you
it. Let's do it.
yeah, ah, if you like,
Let's do it.
we
Okay, that's the kind of thing. Look, aside writing, and comes that I've said, okay, as I cannot make money by existing, let me make money by, delving into
doing that
comms.
right.
Aside that, my life goal is to play.
You
So
get
I'm just doing this because adults would say, make I work before I chop.
let's
If not,
do. I used to say that you see it for me, like everybody shouts me, we're adults, we're adults, we're adults now. I used to see myself as like I'm 15, I'm 16 year old. I just want
you
to
are
be jumping
16.
up and down.
Yeah, I'm 13.
Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Tuesday's Conversations. Yes,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
I am.
whoa.
Oh God, I love you.
Please,
I love you.
excuse me, please, can we do disclaimer before we start properly?
Go ahead, ma. You
Can
have
I
the
do a
floor.
disclaimer? Okay. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, or whatever the time is when you're watching this. I'm quite a serious person,
Mhm,
actually, but
mhm,
at intervals during
mhm,
this podcast, I might display some things inconsistent with my nature. I'm
mhm.
serious.
Do
So
you know
please
that
don't.
you said this thing the first day I met you? The first day I met you, and I was being introduced to you, and you're like, I'm a very serious person. No. I- But of course, I'll let every other person be the judge of that. Yes. So,
I am, but sometimes I might, do things that are inconsistent with my nature during the duration
But
of
it
this
still
call.
doesn't validate who you are.
Yeah,
It
my point
doesn't.
exactly. My point. That's my point.
All right, guys. So I have an amazing, amazing superwoman here today for today's episode. And like, needless to say, right? I love Chigozie because like I was telling her earlier, it feels like we are soul sisters. And then she's honestly someone that the way she lives life is the way I want to live life.
I'm shy.
I I did serious,
Shy,
guys.
please.
Like I did serious. Like the way I want to live life. Like I love how you're loud about the things you love. If there's one thing I know me have picked from you is Chigozie is loud about the things she loves. I'm never allowed to introduce yourself. Please introduce yourself to the people that are meeting for the first time.
Hi guys, my name is Chigozie Paul. Some people know me as
Yeah.
Nebugo,
Mhm.
and other people know me as Chigozie.
Your name is stored as Nne
Chigozie
on your
Nebugo,
profile
one
picture.
person, me. I'm a uh, what am I? I'm a content writer, but I'm not just a content writer. I'm also into brand storytelling
Mm-hmm.
and global comms. I'm currently doing my master's in digital marketing communication. And
Prayer, a prayer, a prayer.
I told you people that I'm serious. Should I told you? But I'm currently doing my master's in digital marketing communications, and every now and then you catch me writing on Medium. I have a
Mm-hmm.
Medium page that I
Mm-hmm.
love to write on, or just writing short quotes that I put on Instagram. Yeah, that's me basically.
That's really really amazing. And I know that there was one post that you wrote recently. So it might not be like recently, but I know I said recently about you being in a quiet place and then a dark room, right? And then you wanting to laugh, but you laughing alone would seem
Oh,
somewhat maniac. Right.
yes.
And then it was like you're writing it to someone else, and it was more like, oh, the person should also laugh with you because what's better than one person laughing, if not two people laughing together in the dark room?
That's actually one of my favorite posts, actually.
It's
One of my favorite.
it is one of my favorite posts of you also. And I just like to ask, what was going through your head when you were writing that?
Um, well, um, I wrote one time that as a person,
Mm-hmm.
I find it difficult sometimes to share whatever it is that I'm going through.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, and I don't want to deviate so much. So,
Into that,
but
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and so I just felt that sometimes because I don't want to talk about what I'm going through does not mean that I want to be left alone.
Okay.
It's I sitting with me also makes things better, yeah. Sitting with me, laughing with me, talking about things that are not related to what I'm going through, the weather,
Mm-hmm.
you know, pictures that you took that you think are beautiful, all those random things, yeah. So that I'm going through a lot and you don't know how to be there for me doesn't mean you should leave me alone. So that was what I was
Okay.
just, that
Okay.
was what I was trying
Okay.
to explain. But usually I don't know how to I don't know how to explain to people that okay, I don't want to talk about what I'm going through now, but I don't want to be left alone. You can
Yeah, I
just sit
get
with
that.
me, let's talk about random things. And then that was what I was trying to explain with
Mm.
that post. So that's why I said it's one of my favorites because when people read this, they could understand what I was trying to say without me having to say too much. So yeah.
I love that. I love that analogy of when you are going through stuff and you don't necessarily, you're not at that point where this is something I want to share, I want to talk about. Or I would also desire your company, right? You just being there with me is enough support for me in that moment, right? That's like what I need, right? When I am ready, or when I'm able to deal with the emotions I feel right now, then I can let what was happening and all that. But in that moment, I need your presence, right? And
Yeah.
this guy is a fine writer. Like this guy is a on my right, but like just
Nikini ọ̀rẹ́, Nikini.
don't let me toot your horn too much. But I'd just like to ask. So let's assume I have someone who is watching this podcast for the first time, and they are getting to know you for the first time. I know earlier you were mentioned about how that you're a serious person, but sometimes you act inconsiderate. If you meet someone for like the first time, right, how would you say introduce yourself? Right? How would how do you describe yourself physically? What are like maybe three key things you'd use to describe yourself?
I was thinking yesterday about how I can I can about how different people have different perspective of me or different opinions about me.
Mm-hmm.
Some people I'm the most quiet person they've ever met in their life. I'm reserved, I'm serious. And to some people I'm like they're like you don't know Chigozie is a kiss. And so maybe to a person I'm meeting for the first time, I would introduce myself as a creative.
Okay.
I'll introduce myself as a passionate person because I'm passionate about different things. So, and I'm very passionate, or I can be very passionate. So, I'll introduce myself as a passionate person, a creative, a passionate person, and a lover of God because then it's that me being a lover of God is somehow shows up in every other part of my life. So,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. All right. So, just based on what you said, you mentioned that you're creative. What exactly do you do like creatively? Can you expand it more on that?
Okay, so I write basically.
What
Long
kind of
story short,
writing?
I write. So I started writing as just something I like to do, yeah. Just
Mm.
something I enjoyed to do. And also, believe it or not, I used to be really quiet. I used to be a quiet child. If you like, don't believe. I used to be a really quiet child. And so and so writing was my form of expression. I used to write to, explain how I was feeling at every single
That was
time.
like your teenage years.
Actually, much younger than that.
Really?
I
Do you
started
remember?
writing.
Do you remember when you started writing? Like what age?
I know I was in primary school when I started writing.
Agba. Primary school. Agba.
I wrote
You're
for a
not
long
playing to
time,
wait with everybody. You're already
but then I had a break because eventually, because of my writing and everything, I wanted to go to art class,
Okay.
and it did not work out for me because they said they told my mom that I was too smart for art class. You know,
Ìwé ọgbà.
yeah, that's I don't know what to call it. That they used to say art class is for people that are not, so they say I should not go to
Mhm.
art class, I should not go and waste my brain. So I said I was not going to go to science class because I knew that my brain was not for sciences. So we agreed to meet in the middle. I went I went to commercial class, and
Oh.
I just stopped writing as you know, like what's the point? What's the point kind of writing? You'll not believe that it's man that made me start writing again. I had a crush. I had a crush on the writer.
I believe you.
You know why I'm laughing now?
Like
Because we don't even talk. We no longer talk.
we don't talk anymore.
And so he used to write, and I used to look at his writing. And actually, now that I think of it, I think I started to like him because I saw in him what
You
I could have been
wanted in
or
yourself.
what I wanted to be. And
Mhm.
so I started to like his writing, and then I commented, oh, I like this. And he said, you know what? Why not? Let's do something. Let's do a collaboration. And so we
Oh
did a
wow.
collaboration. I said, I still got it, nah. I still got it. So I started to write on my own again, and then it just picked up from there. And so I made a career out of it. So I'm trying to explain that I have two parts. When I talk about being a creative, I have being a professional creative, and then I have creative for just me, myself. I'm very selfish with that part of my writing art. When I write on my Medium, when I write on my link on my Instagram, sometimes I
Mhm.
disable the comments, I disable the likes because I'm like, I don't care whether I don't know what to say. I don't care whether people see it or not, but I you don't care whether it goes viral. I don't care whether people understand. I write that one for me. But for the other part of my creative that is professional, I write press releases, I write articles, I write documentation, I write a whole lot of anything writable that you need professionally. I do it. Although now I'm trying to move on from just writing to global communications, and that's why I'm currently doing my master. So yeah, when I say I'm a creative, that's what I mean.
Okay, that makes sense. But it just makes me think of something, right? There's something that many writers see, like people who write creatively, and at some point they start to write professionally or they start to write for money, right? And then they get into that, and it's always hard to go back into the headspace of writing creatively. I have experienced that at some point, right, where I started to write professionally. And then my mind was so fixated on, especially people that get right, like academic writings, like copywritings and things like that. And it's always just hard to get back into the style of the creative writing that I typically do. Did you encounter that kind of thing? And if you did, how were you able to just get through that?
I encountered it. I still encounter it. Well, the first thing that helped me
Mm-hmm.
get over it is what I was talking about in the last question you asked, how
Yeah.
I I've gotten to this space where I've concluded or decided that my writing um is not going to be entirely professional. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have an outlet where I do my writing for just me.
Okay.
And
Makes sense.
when I concluded I was going to be for just me, then it sort of released me from being on a pedestal. Sort of released me from wanting to, you know, write a perfect piece. Because
Okay.
normally writers we just like to, whatever we are putting out, we want it to be binge worthy. We want people to enjoy it, we want people to read it and be like, wow,
True,
who
true,
wrote this, who
true.
wrote that? And then managing that pressure, that invisible pressure, and being and a full-time career in writing can be a lot.
Okay, makes sense.
And so what I did is to remove that pressure so that at least there will be a way for my writing as a hobby to coexist with my writing as a career.
As a
And so,
career,
yeah, and so now that I've removed the pressure, if I write one word, it's still enough for me. If I write two words, it's still enough for me. I have so many drafts that I've not completed. I don't know when I'll complete them. And I just write, not to make sense sometimes, not I just write. So I can decide today that, oh, I've written, or usually when I finish a task, when I finish an article, I write. I write something for me. When I do something for the corporate world, I write something for me. It can
wow. So
be
you
a
reward
short,
yourself basically.
yes. So I reward myself with words. Reward, word. This thing, it comes naturally. Do you
I
understand?
guess.
It comes naturally.
I guess. Please give me. I love how you were able to um encapsulate everything you just said, right? Especially being a writer and the importance of rewarding yourself. I think that's something many of us don't get to do because you feel so burnt out and tired from as it were expounding your brain energy on
Yeah.
writing. It's like, I just want to rest, I just want to relax. But actually finding time to reward yourself with words, like you mentioned, write for you as much as you want to write for every other person. And you want people to admire what you're writing, like what you're writing. You should
Mm-hmm.
not forget why you started writing, right? I'm
Yeah.
writing for myself, right? I'm writing to express my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions. And I want to be able to look back on what I write or what I wrote and, feel a sense of satisfaction, accomplishment. This is my brainchild and this is for me. So, yeah, I think that works. Now, moving forward, you mentioned earlier that you're currently in grad school. How is that going? Especially because I know it can be really, really demanding, right? How do you still ensure that you're already shaking your head? How do you still ensure that in spite of, having to attend classes, having to, do everything that might not exactly be creative inclined, you still make sure that you keep your creative juices, pumping and alive and, just all that.
I think that two things. Yeah, I think first that sometimes we overestimate ourselves,
Okay.
and overestimating ourselves makes us think that we can work well without scheduling or prioritizing. We can
Okay.
just, we can just go through life.
Mm-hmm.
But I've come to realize that personally, regardless of what they used to tell me when I was small, oh, you're a smart kid, you're a special child, genius, baby genius. I am an average person actually, and that I have to do things that average people do. Like
Okay.
if I want something to happen, I have to schedule, I have to create time for it.
For it to
And
actually
so
happen, yeah.
for it to actually happen. And so what I do is I've decided, okay, my schedule is a lot now.
Mm-hmm.
Being in grad school is a lot of work, really.
Mm-hmm.
And aside that, I'm also working on other career related projects because
Yeah.
I want to have something to add to my education when I'm done so that I package myself well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to schedule, I've decided, or I've prioritized writing for myself and I schedule it. So I decide that once in a week, I write something. Like I said in the last question, taking the pressure off what I write makes it easy for me to just write.
Okay.
Since I already said that, okay, I'm not writing to impress anybody. I'm not writing to win best writer. I don't. And then something very important, as I already write professionally, there's I don't put any other strain on my writing. For instance, I don't really do writing competitions. I don't
Okay.
I don't do um maybe writing for a project or something. I rarely do it because I feel like there's already enough strain on what I love. And if I have to write professionally, write for a competition, write for a project, write for eventually I'll just find myself writing, churning out projects, and then at the end of the day I'll find out that I'm no longer enjoying this.
Yeah.
So as a personal rule, although I know there are people that can, juggle everything
Multitask
together,
and do all
but
that
as a
together.
personal rule, I don't do. I feel like I'm already putting enough strain on it by writing professionally in that space. And so I just write for me. I've already decided that I'm not impressing anybody. So every week I've decided that I'll write something, start a new draft in on my Medium, complete a draft on my Medium, write something to post on Instagram, write something to post on WhatsApp, write an email to a friend, write a long message appreciating someone.
Mhm.
Sometimes I randomly put out a call for people that want love letters. I've not done that
Yeah.
in a while, but I randomly do that and then I just write to them.
I think you did one, was it last year or
I
2020?
usually do it around festive period, maybe Valentine's,
I know that
Christmas,
you
just
did one
randomly,
one
really.
time. Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah.
to remember when, but I can't exactly remember. But I think I love what you just mentioned about, you know, scheduling being intentional about like, scheduling when I'm going to get stuff done. Because
Mm.
just like you said, it's very easy to think that, oh, I'm above the average person. Of course, I mean, you might be a genius and actually be above the average person. But for many, many, many of us, we actually cluster in that, average space. And it would just help when you intentionally schedule time because, like I was speaking to someone earlier today, many, many of us are adults now, and as such, there was a time where we used to have like a passion for something, and then we realized that okay, being a grown up means I have responsibilities, and my passions might not be able to pay the bill. So how do I ensure that I am being a grown up, I am paying my responsibilities, pay my bills and all that. But I'm not forgetting my passions, the things that actually make me excited, the things that actually, make me happy about life and things like that, right? So one important thing, like you have already outlined, you enjoy writing or you enjoy being creative, and you had to intentionally tell yourself that I'm going to schedule time to get this done. And I think another thing I really love that you mentioned was how that it's not as much as you're scheduling time about it, you're also not putting pressure on yourself. So it's
Yeah,
not like,
very
okay,
important.
right? It's not like, okay, it has to be on Medium, right? It could be a WhatsApp post, right? It could be, just something small that you can just put, on an
It could even
Instagram.
be WhatsApp stories. I write a lot on my WhatsApp
A
stories.
whole lot.
Whether it's
I
for
see it. I know.
sometimes I like these people. They do sometimes 12. I'm writing. What does this lady have? Does she does she have insomnia? Does she have problem that she's dealing with? I just write, man, because I just I just I just feel like it's something I enjoy doing,
Mhm.
and I don't want. It's like watering a plant.
Okay.
So you don't want it to, I don't want that flame to go off. I don't want that childlike side of my writing to
So
go off.
just,
And so I try
yeah.
to water it with writing for myself every once in a while. Write on WhatsApp status. I when I go out, I collect things to write about. The random guy at work, the random lady at work, what happened on the bus, what happened on the road, the person the dog that wanted to bite me. I try to collect it, and I can't wait to write about it because it, I can't explain further. I'm sorry, but I can't
I
wait to write
get
about
it.
it.
I
I'm
completely
like,
get it.
I have
Yeah.
to, I have to write about it. Do you know that sometimes when I write on WhatsApp
Mm-hmm.
or I, I block everybody. So no other person sees it but me. It's wild, but I like it. So no other person sees my status but me. I just go there and I read and I laugh. And I read and I smile. I'm like, oh, I like, and I take screenshots of my own writing for myself. I take screenshots. So yeah, I just feel like that's the way of keeping that aspect alive. Yeah.
It's beautiful and I love it. I love it for you, especially because for myself, and just listening to how excited you are speaking about writing is making me realize that I used to have this excitement at some point. In fact, I have this book, right? It's a very big book that I started using during lockdown, right? Where um I was writing different things inside of it, right? And then there is this place where I was writing about why I love writing, right? And even just there are times whenever I forget, I just go back and I read it. Yeah, and I was just talking about how beautiful it is that I can, weave words, weave alphabets, weave letters together, and it comes out as a masterpiece. It comes out as something that, someone somewhere that I might meet or I might never
So
even meet.
fascinating.
Do you gets to read it and they can understand, what I'm going through in that moment. They can understand the emotions that I am feeling and then they can relate with it. And it's just beautiful. Or just the fact that I can arrange my thoughts in words and then I can read them back to myself. And I'm like, wow, I wrote this. Right. So I completely get that. Yeah. And it's always thrilling and exciting when you have a passion for something and you're able to nurture it as much as you can, right? And that's
I
like
agree.
one of the end goals for this series, right? Speaking about how that it's very easy to get carried away with every other thing that you're doing right now, that you get to forget the things that you were once passionate about, right? And being a creative, right? And being a writer, just basically doing what you love to do, right? And for now, I would like to, move on to the next stage of this conversation. And that
Okay.
is what we would call random questions. So, all right. So, just in case you did not watch the last episode, right? If this is your first episode on Tuesday's Conversations, we brought this new segment which is called Random Questions, where our guest gets to pick one question, right? They are the most random questions ever, but they are really introspective and insightful questions that tell us one, two, three things about our guests, the kind of person they are. And I'm so excited about this because of the kind of questions that are here and because of Chigozie here. Chigozie, well,
Oh, Escumil, please, if you watch to this part, remember that disclaimer that I put at the beginning. Thank you very much. Have it in mind. Bear it in mind. Carry it to your chest as you're about to watch this part. Thank you.
Okay, all right then. So I have numbered it, right? And then it's numbers 1 to 7. So since we are not in the same, you know, physical vicinity, you just pick a number and then I'll read the question to you, right? That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
works for me.
All
Actually,
right.
I have lucky numbers. So it's
Eh?
just fun, Abby. I have lucky numbers.
Eh? Okay.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'm
So
just going to use one of my lucky numbers.
what do you say? 120.
No, calm down now.
All right.
1,000. Okay, I'm just joking. I have four lucky numbers, but I'm just going to use one. Number three.
Okay. So you have between numbers 1 to 7. So what would be your lucky number?
Number three. 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 1, 2, 3.
Three. Why three? Exactly. What about number three?
I say it's one of my lucky numbers.
Okay, so she has picked number three. So this is number three right here. And I will be opening it to see how lucky you are. All right. So number three question. Let me hold it high up so that everybody can see that we don't need to do it. How did I close this number? Okay, yeah, one way to open it. Wow, this is an interesting question.
adult myself.
Calm down, it's not that bad, but it's also a very straightforward question. It says that when was the last time you did something for the first time and what was it? Very simple. When was the last time you did something for the first time and what was it? I like that the wheels in your head are spinning.
Something for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, I think it's to get an adult coloring book.
Hmm?
An adult coloring book. It's
Like, oh,
coloring book, but yes.
but
It's
for
coloring,
adults.
yes, rebranding, it's all branding. So I got a coloring book. I don't think I've ever really painted. Even all these paint and sip, I didn't really used to go.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So I got an adult coloring book one day in the store quite recently, actually. I think I made a post about it.
Wow.
And when I think it was during assessment period, and
Mm-hmm.
when I start to get all stressed and tense, I just drop everything and color. So nobody is arresting me and there's no pattern to it. So you can use any color. One self, sometimes I'll paint blue, I'll paint pink, I'll paint purple, everything. Everything will just come together. I think that's the last time I did something for the first time.
Wow.
Sit here and then I even got for people around me, let all of us color together and they will just sit and color in silence. It's really fun, really, really fun. I
Okay, so
highly
I,
recommend
I I love that, and I'm just wondering what exactly are you coloring? Because I know that for children's color book they have like Disney princesses,
it.
right? Like Snow White, Rapunzel, things like that. What exactly are you coloring?
This one has very random things. It has flowers. It has um peacock. The last thing I colored was a peacock. It has
Tell me you
different
have
things.
pictures of this because I feel like I have to see it right now.
I have I have, but it's not close. I can send you the pictures after. There's even
Send
one I
me.
posted on my Instagram. I can
Hmm.
send you the pictures after.
But that's so cool.
I
Like
hope
that's
now.
like no, that's like really, really cool, especially because it's a good way to just relax.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I highly recommend. Jokes apart, I highly recommend it. It's
Like
just
it's
a good way to. So when I want to color, I put my phone on do not disturb as if I'm doing something really important. I put my phone on do not disturb and I just sit and sometimes I play instrumentals and then I instantly feel like I'm mature as I start
Picasso.
coloring. As I start
Picasso
coloring, I
levels or
feel like
nothing.
I feel like but yeah, that's the last first. Oh, that's the last first thing that I did. First
That's
last.
you did for the first, but that's actually really cool. Yeah, and I think is now just in line with the kind of person you are, just in line with your personality. Like, is definitely something you can do. So is literally just in line with the kind of person you are, and I love that. Now I'm going to be on the lookout for adult coloring books because
Yeah.
yes.
Well, sorry to cut you
Mm-hmm.
short. When I made that post, a few people said today, and then I think I saw a brand, talk about it that they wanted to restock just journals. But when I
Okay.
went to their page, I did not find it. So I'll just make inquiries, and if it's something they're into, I'll just drop so you can, in case anybody wants to
Oh
try.
yeah, yeah, that would be cool. So I know just journals. My
Mm,
friend has gotten something there at some point. I think I'll check that out because as you were speaking, I just had a faint memory of when I was a child and I went to visit my cousins and they had a lot of all these coloring books and it
it's
was
fun.
just fun.
It's
Like
fun.
it was just so fun and exciting. So I'm like up for that. Like that can definitely be like a date idea for me. Like that's something that I can do on a date. Like it will be so fun. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I love that. So thank you. Thank you. We are
You're
winding down
welcome.
now, right? We are winding down now. And I know it has been an amazing time just having conversations with you. If you're a writer and you listened, I hope that you got something out of everything that Chigozie shared with us today. So I will just leave the floor open. Do you have like any last words? that you'd like to round up today's episode with? Any last things you'd like to say to the listeners, maybe a struggling writer out there, just feel free.
Well, the only thing I would say is if if you are writing professionally, if you are writing professionally and writing is something you enjoy, I'll just say find an outlet. Just find an outlet. Find a way to ensure that writing professionally is not all you do. I mean, in terms of writing, in relation to writing, make sure that writing professionally is not all you do. For me, I said how I don't, contribute to projects. For you, you can, if contributing to project is what works for you, you can do it. I know a lot of people that, have ideas, but they don't know how to piece their words together. Just make sure you do something relating to writing that there's no pressure on, so that you don't start hating what you like to do, and so that you always have a way to, how do I put it, something just sparks joy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you have something that sparks joy. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's just what I would say.
Everything.
And prioritize writing for you, even when you are writing for people. One thing that I've realized in my writing career is the more personalized it is, or the more, how do I put it? Yeah, the more personalized it is, the more relatable it becomes. And
Sure.
great writing is relatable writing, really.
Yeah.
If you are writing an award-winning book and nobody can relate to it, nobody will want to read it. So great
Mm-hmm.
writing is relatable writing. So take the pressure off your writing, even academically or professionally. Take the pressure off trying to be win best writer, and just aim for writing relatable articles, relatable press releases, relatable thing materials that people can read and understand what you're trying to say. The simpler, the better, really. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
agree with that. The simpler, the better. One of the books I would not like, or rather, one of the books I do not like. I tried reading it, and I have had a number of people try to. If you know me well, right, you probably would know the book. I have had a number of people try to change my opinion on that book, but the major reason why I don't like it is because the writer did not write in simple terms. And it was so hard to understand. It was so hard for me to follow. It was unrelatable, right? So just like you said, great writing is relatable writing. I mean, guys, see Chigozie, like, awesome, awesome, small tiger. This was amazing.
Ah, ah.
Oh, sorry, in-house joke. Emma Blue. So sorry.
I
That should
forgive
have
you.
come out.
Don't explain the joke to anybody. Don't explain the
I
joke
will
to
not.
anybody.
I will not. Sign sealed. My lips are sealed.
Bye.
Yeah, but thank you so very much, Chigozie, for coming on and having this session with us. It was really amazing. I had fun.
I had fun too.
Yes, you of course you have to have fun. I mean, but yeah, thank you so very much for this, and thank you to everyone who is listening or who's
Thank you,
watching us on
everyone.
YouTube. Please make sure you follow us if you haven't followed. Kindly subscribe so that we can continue this amazing work that we're doing. And of course, you can always follow Chigozie on Instagram. She posts really
I'm
amazing
a
stuff
serious
there.
person, so if you see serious things there, don't be surprised.
Yes, exactly. And also on her Medium, just if you'd love to read some of the amazing things that she puts out there, you can definitely also follow her there. Yes, so that would be it from us today. Yes, till we see next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.